finished dormer bungalow, which I have to say, I was quite taken by. These first 2 rooms, they're just great, they're roomy, and I'm hoping that carries on. And it did. But this was going to need a full refurb, but it had loads of potential, set on a decent-sized plot. And as a bungalow, it was an increasingly rare beast. So I was excited to know what Ian on the left and his building contractor Martin had planned for it after it was bought at auction for 176 grand. Would it become a modern, bigger and better bungalow for the 21st century?
Actually not. We're going to be converting it into 4 flats, which will reconfigure the internal premises into 3 flats, and then we're looking to put a new build extension on the side along the driveway to create the 4th flat.
So you'll be renting them out or selling them on?
They will be rented. They'll be tenanted by people with learning disabilities or physical disabilities, and they'll be given a very good high standard quality of accommodation.
I didn't see that one coming at the time.
It was unexpected, but I always should have known.
But 4 purpose-built flats with facilities for staff really maximises the site. Ian is the financial director of a company that specialises in this type of care home, and they've already done 9 such conversions. They hoped that 150 to 160 grand and a timescale of 12 to 16 weeks would see the conversion complete, with planning approval needed and the property being in an old mining area, so a mining report would be required. They had a few hurdles to jump over before they could even get started. And now, 9 months later, we're back. The building is well underway. But there's still quite a lot to do, so what's been going on?
So we bought the property last year. We then ran the planning process firstly, rather than doing the concurrent stage with the mining and ground investigation, to make sure that the planners were happy with what we were doing. So then, after that process, we then started the ground investigation, mining surveys and the drilling.
Ah, the ground investigation and the mining report. What happened there?
They picked up, obviously, a mine shaft very close to here. We didn't know whether we got any on this property. So we've had to do some drilling down over 40 metres to make sure there's no mine shafts or seams running in the back garden.
I think the thing that shocked me was the size of the drill that they used to go down into the ground to check for the mine shafts. It was just a humongous piece of kit, and as part of that we even had to insure the properties next door. In the end, all's well.
Now I stand on solid ground, I stand on solid ground, on solid ground.
So luckily that wasn't an issue, and planning actually was all very straightforward. But they had lost a lot of time. Now that they've got started, what's actually being built here?
Flat 1 now is predominantly in the old building, with the kitchen and the kitchen dining room and bedroom on the front elevation. Flat 2 again is half and half of the existing building, and the kitchen lounge is on the rear in the new extension. Flat 3, which we're standing at the moment, which we call the penthouse, which has got the bedroom on the front, the bathroom, wet room to our right, and then behind of us is the lounge kitchen. And then flat 4 is the ground floor flat, all in the new extension.
The largest 2 walls remaining of the old bungalow. So in essence, this is a new build with a very carefully designed layout inside and out.
Each flat has got the same basic layout, although some are slightly larger than others, which are a kitchen lounge, separate bedroom, a wet room, and some have got a lobby area.
At the rear, we're going to have a small patio area, which will then be graduated up with lawn, and a seating area at the back. And then at the front, that will provide 3 car parking spaces. It will be landscaped with some planters, just to keep things a bit green at the front as well.
There will also be a staff kitchen and cloakroom, and Martin thinks now building work has commenced, it should all be finished in a couple of months. But at what cost?
extras that have come out of the drilling and the insurances and the whole process has probably cost us 70 to 80,000, and we've spent probably 40,000 more on the project itself. So we're getting on towards 280 to 300 by the time we'll have finished.
So the budget's nearly doubled, and £300,000 on top of £176,000 purchase price now means they're looking at £476,000 to complete the 4 flats. And though a specialist market, what are the thoughts of 2 local estate agents? First, the agent who saw it last time.
Well, substantial changes have taken place since I came on my first visit. Noticeably, straight away, obviously the footprint of the property has been extended quite substantially with the ground floor extension that's taking place. It looks like it's a project that's going well, and it's going to look really good.
Looking at this building project as it is and looking at the plans, I think it's an amazing project. Definitely the highlights of this property is that they will be putting in a landscape garden and also having a private driveway as well, where they can park at least 2 to 3 vehicles separate from off-road parking, making it a secure property for them.
These flats are being built specifically to be rented out to a local housing authority, but if they did have to sell their £476,000 development on, how would it fare on the resale market?
If the property was to come onto the market, once it is obviously fully let, you'd be looking in the region of £350,000.
If an investor was to purchase this property, once finished, I would probably sell this in the region of £375,000.
Significantly under the resale value that we are working towards. We have an offer in excess of £550,000.
If they did sell the whole development for £550,000, there would be a potential pre-tax profit of 74 grand. But the main business model is based on renting the flats out to the local authority, and they have an agreed rental figure of £197.50 per week per flat, which equates to around 45 grand a year for a reasonable yield just above 8%. So from that point of view, the figures do add up. But what's still left to do?
We'll get the roofs on. Once they're watertight, we then start first fix the M&E, which is mechanical and electrical. Then start plastering. Then second fix, do all the carpentry work, then paint it, and then we do all the external works and hopefully hand it over on time.
Which is what we're looking forward to.
So are we. So are we.